Okay, MDs, this video is only going to, here's what's going to be in the video. There are 4 concerns that I have that I'm going to share with you. If I'm a builder today, and even myself as a CEO, 4 concerns that be on the top of my mind if I'm you as an MD running a big shop and a hierarchy. Number 2, I'm going to give you 3 scripts that you ought to be thinking about. I shared it on the VP, but I'm going to give you a different aspect of it since we had a conversation on the Dream Team call. 3 markets to be focused on recruiting right now if I'm you. 4 things I'd be thinking about in April. 3 crazy announcements I'm gonna make that's gonna light up this group. And then an update from carriers that we got that many of you guys have been talking to the carriers. You've known about this. We finally have the news. We'll give that news to you as well. So now, on top of that, I got data points, I got numbers, I got Teek in here as well. Teek, say hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
We got some numbers to go through to look at how closeouts taking place. I can tell you one data that is absolutely crazy. So I'm going to show the annuity part just to kind of get it started. So check this out. I want you to see this. So we reported $13.75 million of annuities when I sent that message. It was a record-breaking month with 220 annuities submitted, right? 220, 13.75 million bucks. And everybody was saying that's the biggest month ever. There are 30 annuities that have been submitted that the points haven't yet been given. They're about to. And another 70 annuities that came in last night. That's 320 annuities. I mean, I can't even think. We didn't beat the prior best by 30%. We beat it by like 60%. We've never had this many annuities submitted in a single month. And it happened this month, and it's not going to slow down with the annuity part. On the life side, we shattered last year's best when it comes down to policy count. We already have 4,800 policies that were submitted as of yesterday. Another 1,538 came in last night. Take 100 of them that are not going to count until next month, depending on whatever happens with quality of business. It's going to be around 6,200 policies that came in last month. We've never cracked, this is the second time we cracked 6,000 policies. With what's going on in the economy and the marketplace, we still did a number like that, which is insanity. When I'm talking to the bankers, they cannot believe what's taking place with PHP. And on the recruiting side, we're at 4,800 recruits. We didn't crack our record of last year, but we did 4,800 recruits. I think we did 900 something recruits yesterday on closeout. And I'll give you some data here on who had the best closeouts. I'm going to flip this thing over so you can see this. Let's start off with NetVP's Teek. Why don't we start off there and we'll go from there. Kobos at the bottom with 3.5 recruits yesterday on NetVP closeout. Kobos, there's a benefit to being a VP and not being a VP, because when you're a VP, you're exposed. It's like being an MD. Everybody sees how many competitive MDs are in the Prevail Net VP. So any MD that it's in that Prevail Net VP, we are watching you to see how competitive you are, because you guys got only 3.5 yesterday. Mason got a bunch of love yesterday on the Dream Team call, and then boom, 9.5 on closeout Net VP. I thought they would have done more. Kehendi 25, Del Valle 32, Alejandro 39, Diana and Kelroy 43.5, Graziani 50.5, Ricky and Erica 51.5, Phelps 54, Del Toro 55.5, Gaines 56.5, Pelayo 77.5, and Cooper 70. Did they really tie Pelayo and Cooper? 77.5, Vargas 79.5, Gaitan 103, and not even close. MSM 155 recruits during closeout. Now let's look at the captains on what the captains did. Okay, captains of councils, and I'm going to tell you which one's the most competitive. MDs, SME MDs, count VPs or councils. Check this out. At the bottom of councils, Pelayo, 2.5 recruits. Graziani and Del Valle, 3 recruits. Del Toro's 4 recruits. That means these guys didn't really have a closeout. There was no closeout going on, or they haven't yet learned how to do 3-way calls, and they've kind of been casual on that area of learning how to do 3-way calls and Zoom recruiting. Maybe they're just motivating their guys, which is good to do. But there's nothing better than setting an example of results to your MDs so they can do the same. And these guys got some work to do. Gaitan's got 11 recruits on the base. Alejandro 11.5. Vargas got 18. Sapala's 20. Ricky and Erica told me they're going to beat everybody in the company in closeout. They didn't beat everybody, but they definitely beat all the councils in closeout with 25. We'll see if that killer instinct that they had is back. You'll typically find out on the first of the month. We'll see what they'll do this month. Here's VPs. Kobos and Phelps, again, nothing really going on here, but we'll see what happened there. 2 recruits. Cooper Mason, 3 recruits. Kehendi 7. Gaines, crazy quality, 10. Diana Joe, 12. So you're seeing the VPs top had two crazies, Diana and Kilroy 12, Gaines 10. You had Gaetan, Alejandro Vargas, Sapala, Vargas at 18, Sapala's at 20. Ricky and Erica hit the second category of crazy, which is 25. And then let's look at SMDs. Alborzi and Marroquin had, these are all crazies, by the way. I'm going to start here. Roger and Brenda, 20. Rojas had 5. El Janet had 6. Musgrove, Saldana, Wendy Munoz, Monica Sanchez had 7. Polerencia, 8. Got him, 9. Good job, got him. By the way, got him last one made $29,000, $27,000, some number like that. And he's only been with us for a month. Suazos, crazy, double digit, 10. Alborzi, Marroquin, double digit, 11. Good job, Guevara, 12. Castro and Pimbers, 14. Good job, Castro. Good job, Pimbers. Crystal, Alfredo and Crystal, 16. Carla Mitra, 17. Mackey's, 18. Terrace. Terrace was the number one recruiting big shot last month. Didn't he beat Wendy? He beat everybody, right? Yeah. And it was the first time he ever cracked 100 recruits. I'm so proud of Fred and Christy. I'm excited where they're at. But again, sometimes when they have a big month, they don't follow it up with a big month. So I'm curious to know what they're going to do. April, Hart, 32 and a half. They are lit up over there in East Coast. Solis. Is this a new Solis or is this the same Solis? I messaged him yesterday. I said, I forgot who this guy is. Is that the same guy that was in that one Monterey, California? Monte something. Montecito. Monte Cristo, right outside of Pasadena, is Christopher Solis was the number recruiting SMD. We haven't seen this guy for a long time, but apparently he's back at the number one spot. Christopher Solis from Monte Cristo. And then we have MD's captains at the bottom: Griffith, Francisco Marquina, Marcelo Alonso 6, David Ryan 6.5, Kevin Lopez Ura 7, Melissa Lopez Casey Mario 8, Zapata Ortega Iroezi Mario and Sandra 9. Crazy guys. Okafor, good job Okafor, getting that additional one to be crazy, and your buddy Iroezi didn't do it. Hey, you needed one more to be in the crazy category, but your buddy Okafor is. Oriana 10, good job. Renee Dalila 11. Cerna and Michael Bryan, man, these guys are both on Dream Team. I think they're gonna both stay on the Dream Team call. 12, I like where they're at. Elvana and Luan 14. Good job, guys. Campos. I sent a lead yesterday to Campos, that one that came in. I sent it to them. I'm excited about where they are. We were going back and forth all day yesterday. And they got 2 directs just yesterday, by the way. 20 base recruits. Corman, 30. And Corman may have unofficially promoted a new MD. Greg, Greg Smith, the guys that we like a lot out of Ohio. Very excited about those guys. But guess who the King Kong of closeout was? Vic and Anna. Really? Yeah. Vic. 40! Okay, look, these guys, there's only 3 people that didn't know. Was it 5 people that did 25, yes, which is level 2 crazy. 25, Ricky and Erica. Solis 33. Hart 32 and a half. Terrace 27 and a half. Actually 6. Corman 30. Vic and Anna 40. But the King Kong of closeout, Vic and Anna. Now watch this. When you look at all these different categories, the least competitive category were the VPs. VP category. The second least competitive category were the councils. Wow. Would you have guessed? I would have not guessed. The third most competitive category would be the MDs. Even though the numbers are higher, you got more SMDs that did double digit. There's fewer SMDs than MDs, and they still have more people do double digit. Yes. So this is still the third most competitive, even though these guys were really holding the fourth down, Campos, Corbin, Vic, and Anna. But I got to give it to the most competitive category is SMDs and EMDs right now. You know what just tells you? We got a lot of VPs in the hopper. A lot of them. So that's that part. Now, let's look at which net VP team had the most MDs with 50-plus base recruits. Ready? At the bottom, these are folks that got none. Fel Kahindi Cobos, Del Valle 0. Pelayo Danajo Mason 1. By the way, for Mason, it was himself. For Pelayo, it was Terrace. And for Danajo, it was themselves. Vargas Alejandro Del Toro 1.5. I actually don't think did Del Toro's hit 50? I don't know if they did. Oh, Alejandro didn't hit 50, but Del Toro's did and Vargas did. Cooper Gaines, Ricky and Erica, they had 2. I don't think Cooper hit 50. I know he did, and I know he did. Sapala's Graziani 3.5. I know Sapala hit 50 himself, but Graziani didn't. He hit 25.5, I want to say, something like that. And then Gaetan's definitely did hit 50. And they're at the top with 4.5 base shops with 50-plus base recruits. So that's the numbers right there for 50-plus. 25-plus at the bottom, you got Mason, Del Valle, Cobos, all had only 1. And each of them, I think Mason was himself, I don't know if Del Valle's hit 25, although they may have. Kahindi 2, Phelps 2.5, but himself, he's not in it. He didn't hit 25. He was only at 12 last month. His hierarchy kind of drove the Team USA last month. Gaines and Diana Joe 3, Alejandro 4, Cooper 4.5. Cooper definitely hit 25 last month. Ricky and Erica Del Toro Palau 5. Palau did not hit 25 last month. Graziani 5.5. He did hit 25 last month. Vargas 7, Sapala 7.5. Gaitans at the top. Watch this. 4.5, 11.5. Will it be a sweep on the 10 plus MDs? 10 plus recruits. Cobos had 1. Kahindi had 1. Kahindi had 3 MDs that got 10 or more base recruits. Mason had 4.5. Del Valle had 5. Gaines, Diana Joe had 5. By the way, Diana Joe's, that's her 5 and that's Gaines 5. So total is 10. Cooper, Phelps, Alejandro, Ricky, and Erica, and Zach Graziani in that group as well. I think, yes. No, actually, Cooper and Phelps are 5.5. Ricky and Erica, Graziani, Alejandro 6. Del Toro 7. Palaio 9. Vargas 12. Gaitan 13.5. And the King Kong of King Kongs in that category, Sapalas, is 19. Those are some of the numbers we are looking at right now. Let me turn this. Okay, so those are the numbers. Let me tell you who I'm proud of this moment I'm looking at. This obviously Terrace at the top for being first place, only beating Wendy Munoz by 1 but I had a great conversation with Wendy yesterday, off Dream Team call. I'm proud of Corman. Corman had 90 recruits in his base shop last month. Good job, Corman, for your efforts last month. Believe it or not, even though John ended up dropping off to the 6th place, I'm actually excited about John. I talked a lot of good stuff about John because none of you guys would have thought John would be the #1 recruiting VP in the entire company this month with coronavirus going around. Most people would have said John may actually be scared and not be working that hard, but he's doing his part. Now, you know, the one thing with John, I told him this morning, I said, John, you have a tendency of going close to winning the whole thing and then you get cocky. And then you lose. You get distracted. To win the whole thing, you got like 4th quarter, you got to lead with 1 minute left. You got to ramp it up. And I'm hoping that that's a muscle that can be built, by the way. When they figure that part out, when he figures that part, I think Limitless can really do some crazy things because they got a lot of good people there. And if they come together, this Chairman's Council thing could be done, but it'll require everybody's effort. Clark, Dean, Paulson, Rist, Martinez, everybody to get that done. And quite frankly, Limitless, your leader's doing his part. And it's on you guys to do your part to help that team become a council team. I'm proud of Hearts. They were gone for a while. 79.5 recruits. If you think about it, between themselves and Corman, they got 167 recruits just out of DMV, which is exciting to see who's going to pop out of that group. I like the fact that Lujan's got 78. I like Michael getting his 76. I like Vic and Anna doing 76. Mackies are obviously there with their names. Casey and Mario did a number 67. Diana Joe 64. Solis did a 63. I'd like to see Gaitans get back into the habit of competing like they did, breaking records. I mean, obviously, hierarchy-wise, they're doing good. In FVP, they're doing good. And Base Shop, they're doing okay, but they're not killing it like they could. And then you got some other names that we're looking at, right? Obviously, Veronica and Jose, I believe, broke their record of 72 days now, consecutive, which is nuts. But let me get into my messaging here. So, before I get into my whole message, what do I start off with? Okay, let me start off with the technical news here first, and then I'll get into the 4 concerns, the 3 scripts, the industries, strategies, and book of the month, and the announcements that I have. So number 1, we've talked about this with many of you. We've had this call. I've had this call with Sheena and I, and Matt spoke about this a ton yesterday. She's aware of this. And look, you know, these insurance carriers have to figure out a way to protect themselves. I'm sure all of you guys understand these guys are protecting their money as they have to. If it was your money, you would do the same as well. They have to report to the guys in Bermuda, Swiss Re, Munich Re, all these other guys. So they're making things a little bit different to make sure agents are not doing any kind of fraudulent activities. So moving forward, you know, you're seeing me breathe hard because this is a little bit annoying thing that we have to go through, but moving forward, because of what happened with a couple other agencies that they're struggling with, every time you submit a policy, moving forward, every time you submit a policy, the same way you do the blood work, the same way you do the EKG, the same way you're doing all that other stuff, they want urine samples from the writing agent. This has been going on for the last 6 weeks. We've had a couple of our guys that have gone on calls with carriers to also give their reasoning why this is necessary and all this other stuff when for the next 90 days. We have to have a urine sample, and we have to have urine bank over here, and we have to hire somebody that their expertise is medical. I've never experienced something like this before, but these are obviously crazy times, and we all have to make adjustments. I had no idea urine bank cost a $35,000 licensing fee, and a urine doctor to do all this stuff, you need a minimum of 2 by the state of Texas. And we had to lease out some space next door. Anyways, we're prepared for it. But moving forward, all of you, for every policy you write, you need to send a urine sample in. If you want to store some, drink a lot of water, whatever you got to do. That's the bad news. The good news is today's April Fool's. I had you guys. Let me tell you. You don't have to worry about your urine sample. You just have to know that your CEO pulled a prank on you. Yesterday, Sheena called me to try to pull a prank on me. And I knew the moment she was trying to pull a prank on me the day before. And I flipped it on her. And I recorded the video. And I said, if you're going to pull a prank on me, I got to pull it on you. And I pulled it on her. Anyways, it's a real funny situation here. Please do not send urine samples to the home office. I'm telling you right now. I don't want apple juice. I don't want urine samples. I don't want nothing being sent to the home office. We're okay. You keep writing and keep peeing regularly the way you do. You're going to be all right. Okay. So now let's get into the news and the announcements that I have. Here's a couple things to be thinking about. These are my concerns. You heard me talk about all these numbers here that we have, right? You heard me talk about all these numbers here that we have. And some of you guys are doing good, and some of you guys are doing whatever you're doing. I said yesterday on the Dream Team call, I told them a story about the fact that when I was back in 21 years old, I got into a fight one night at Saddle Ranch, and I'll give you the shorter version of it. We got into a fight. One of my buddies, Armin, would always pick on guys bigger than him. So if we'd go to a nightclub, if he didn't meet a girl and, get a number or anything, he'd start a fight. He was one of those guys. Drink, meet a girl. If I don't meet a girl, I'm going to fight somebody. And he wasn't the biggest guy, so that means we had to fight. And I hated it. So one day we're at Saddle Ranch, and we're having a good time. We're inside, but we can't find him. We go outside. I notice he's punching a guy that's 6'5", buff guy, white guy. He's punching this guy in the face. I'm like, what are you doing? I run up there. We start getting into a fight, me and this guy, because we're about the same size. And then next thing you know, 35 guys run out of Saddle Ranch. We didn't know these guys were from UC Santa Barbara frat. It's the 4 of us against this 35. And it's myself, it's Armin, it's Harmik, and another guy, which I won't mention his name, because the other guy, when the fight broke out, Armin fought. He got some black eyes. I got hit all over my head in the back because they were hitting me from the back from every angle. And I had a guy behind me named Harmik who was swinging at him nonstop to protect me. The 3 of us fought. One of our friends ran off. We couldn't find him. Then we go to the car. He's by the car. We look at him. We say, we're getting jumped by 35 guys. We're getting hit. And you run off? I'm not going to get into a fight. What the hell do you mean you're not going to fight? You're with us. What are you doing? We're going to go down. Of course we're going to get hit. What are you doing here? He said, I just had to run off. That day, everybody took notes back here. You always knew who you could count on and who couldn't count on, right? Let me tell you. And the person that I didn't think would fight protected me because he was behind me. I'm in the middle. Guys are being thrown in the grass, and all of a sudden they're swinging at me nonstop, and Armin's right in front of me, and Harmik behind me fighting. And he was a fighter. Till today, I talked to him the other day. He says, hey, can you call my son, because my son doesn't believe I used to be great. So, matter of fact, Harmik's the goalie. The one, your brother that talked, but that's the guy. He's the guy. Remember that they were having dinner at your house? And then I called Harmik. He spoke to your brother. They played in Armenia together. That's the guy. So anyways, he's a fighter. Harmik will fight. He'll brawl. So anyways, long story short, the person you thought would fight didn't fight. The person you thought wouldn't fight will fight. The leader's bulletin right now tells you who's scared. First of all, remember this, guys. Who isn't? You got wife, kids, husband, all this other stuff, and you try to get things going. Everybody has some level of fear. But it is mandatory for these times to happen to identify who the real wartime leaders are. Yesterday, I came out with a shirt called Wartime Leader, and we got hundreds of orders around the world that ordered because they wanted to get a gift as people. You know why we got it? Because if there's anything the world needs right now, it's more of a wartime leader. I did this in the last episode. So these are my 4 concerns. These are my 4 concerns. But your numbers are all telling a story. If we're looking at these numbers and we see some people talk a big game, yeah, let me tell you, we're this, we're that, but your base does less than 5 recruits on closeout, you're scared. even if you're a chairman's council, VP, MD, SMD, I don't care who you are. Your numbers tell us you're scared, because if you weren't, you'd be playing ball. Everybody needs to use this opportunity to test their willpower, because everyone's watching you. Let me go to the 4 concerns that I have. Number 1, my concern every morning that I wake up, if I'm running a sales office, if I'm running a hierarchy, is to do whatever I can to help my guys make money. It matters more to me for them to make money than even some of them for them to make money. Some of your guys don't look at money the same way. I had a big conversation with one of our guys yesterday. I said, it's very obvious what slows you down. A $70,000 check slows you down for 3 months. Your identity was revealed by a $70,000 check. Your identity was revealed by a $70,000 check because you checked out. And you disrespected your business. You cannot disrespect your code number. I'm not talking disrespect to me, guys. Your code number is a business. You cannot disrespect your code number because it gives you override. It gives you an incredible life. It sends you all over the world. It gives you GEB. It gives you bonuses. It gives you the clothes, the cars, the travel, the experiences, the luxury, the dinners, the restaurants, the accolades. All of that is your code number. You can't ever disrespect your code number. The same way that if you disrespect your wife, she will eventually leave you. If you disrespect your husband out of control, he could eventually leave you. You cannot disrespect your business that puts the food on the table for your family. You can't ever do that. Remember, I didn't say me. I'm not telling you I'm your boss. Your code number. Don't ever disrespect what this business does for you. You got to come through for it. I would be so concerned about helping my FAs make $5,000 a month in April. I'd be so concerned about going out there helping my MDs make $20,000, $30,000 a month. Whatever announcements I'm talking about, I'm helping my guys make money. So number 1 concern I have is my guys making money. Number 2 concern I'm having, I'm calling every single client. You know, the other day we did a VP call. I gave 3 scripts. And then on the Dream Team call, I said, how many of you guys took the 3 scripts that your VPs taught you and you shared it with your base shops? And people are like, what 3 scripts? I'm like, what do you mean what 3 scripts? Well, what 3? We never learned those 3 scripts. Guys, what I'm sharing with you, if you don't teach it to your guys, you won't get results. I'm only sharing this stuff with you because it works. Here's a script of what I'm doing if I'm you right now. I'm calling every single personal client I ever wrote. Everybody. If it's an annuity I wrote, the script is, have you noticed how much money people lost in the market in the last 6 weeks? $25 trillion was lost. Have you noticed how much money you lost in your index annuity? 0. You can sleep on a soft pillow tonight. Yes. Do you have any other people that would like to have the same soft pillow that you have, Mr. and Mrs. Jones? I do. My sister, my friend. Then you get 5 referrals, then you call those people and you sell them the index annuity. The second script, when I call my life insurance people, this is what the script sounds like. Hey, John. Hey, Mayor. By the way, yesterday somebody sent me a message saying, hey, I'm hearing that insurance is a rough business to be around right now on the PNC side because people are canceling their auto insurance. What do you think about it? I said, it's not the industry. It's a bad agent. A lazy agent is getting chargebacks, not the industry. A lazy agent who doesn't call the client is one who gets charged back. I'm calling all my clients, and this is what my script sounds like. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, how are you? Good. I got some good news for you, some bad news for you. Which one do you want to hear about? Well, give me the bad news first. The bad news is, after what happened with coronavirus, insurance companies have tightened up underwriting in ways they've never done before. Obviously, you have to know that they're concerned. He says, wow, okay, so what does that mean to me? What's the good news? The good news is you don't have to worry about it because you were underwritten pre-coronavirus. As long as you keep your policy, you're good to go. But if you think about doing anything with it and getting back at it, you may not get approved because underwriting has gone up. Just be glad that you have it. There are so many people that let go of their policy last year that they're calling me back telling me, can I get my policy reactivated? We cannot. Best news for you is you're still active. Oh, that's, great timing because Jenny and I were just talking about right now, said, oh, man, if there's one thing you don't want to let go is that policy because you may never get that $250,000 protection. You may never get that $500,000. You don't want to risk it. Just keep it there. That sounds good. We're going to do that. Great. You make all the calls. And by the way, let me give you a guarantee. I guarantee you 70% of you will not do it. I guarantee you 70% of you will not do it. And I guarantee you, if this thing was turned and I'm on your side and I'm listening to it, I guarantee you I'm calling everybody and I'm sitting on my field trainers in the big BOM room in my old office and I would say, call, I want to hear the script. and we're calling everybody together. I guarantee you that's what we would do, and that's how I would hold my base shop accountable for us to call everybody. Because that's the responsibility of a Siona leader to do. That's your job. That's my second concern. Then give me third concern. Third concern is positive distractions. You need millions of positive distractions today more than ever before, because there's a million negative distractions you're going up against right now. You got to have so many positive distractions right now. What are positive distractions? Good news club, good news. Here's good news. Here's some more good news. Let me tell you what just happened. Quotes, good news, results, appointment. Look what happened. This person made this much money. Here's what it's good news after good news after good news after good news after good news. You know what drives your guys. If you run any contest, running around things that drives them based on today's times. What does the mother need? What is the mother afraid of? Do they have kids? Run your contest around anything that's good news to make them get distracted from all the negativity that's on the news right now. Number 4, some of you guys are just becoming motivational speakers. This is a time that motivational speakers recruit less than 5 people on closeouts. Stop being a motivational speaker. Motivational speakers are just good for flatline or to take a little bit of a dip. Be a inspirational, results-driven getter. Let me explain to you what that word means. It's not a real word. I'm putting it together. Inspirational results getter. What does that mean to you? Here's what it means to me. Motivational speaker, inspirational results getter. Motivation, you can do it. You go do this, and I'm telling you, you guys can. And I'm doing boot camp after boot camp after boot camp about how you should do annuities, but I'm not writing any annuities. I'm boot camped out. How many more boot camps you want me to do with you with annuities, and you still haven't written one yourself, Mr. VP, Mr. EMD, Mr. MD, Mr. Chairman's Counsel? Why are you not writing one? Why don't you show me you wrote a $500,000 annuity? Why don't you show me you got a $250,000 annuity? But the inspirational results getter gets results, talks about it, then shows it to everybody. Don't just be somebody that's talking about it. You go do it. Today, setting an example. We always talk about setting an example. There's never been a time that setting an example is more important than today, because people are looking at your example and they're saying, oh, I think they're scared. I think she's scared. I think he's scared. You can show all the Zooms you're doing on Snapchat, on Facebook, on whatever. You can post all of them everywhere. They don't care how many Zooms you're doing. They care how many directs you're getting, how many FAs you're promoting, how many people you're writing, how many annuities you're getting, because this is the time that through your example of you leveling up GEB, you're getting a GEB, whatever you're doing, everybody else is replicating your habits, setting an example at the highest. Again, 4 concerns: helping my guys make money, calling every single client out with the script I share with you. You may want to rewind and write it down. Positive distractions, and not just being a motivational speaker, being an inspirational results getter right now. Those are my scripts. Next, strategies. I'm qualifying for next board council if I'm you. Some people are like, well, what's going to happen with it? It doesn't matter what happens with it. If it's not going to be in the place we're going to do it because of whatever coronavirus, we're going to do it in somewhere that's going to be crazy, where it's going to be whatever. So don't let your VP or whoever, well, what if it doesn't? No, I'm going to the next board council meeting. And just so you know, I'm hosting a next board council meeting when everything slows down. And I'm going to take those who qualify to it. We're not going to lower the standard for the next board council meeting. You better believe it. We're not lowering that meeting. And it's probably, I'm going to tell you this, it's probably going to be the greatest strategy session we've ever had, because it'll be a small setting. It will be one of the last ones that we're going to do, but it'll be one of the best strategy sessions we'll have coming out of the coronavirus thing. And we'll all be sitting together thinking about how to take over the world together. Those of you who don't attend will miss out. So put that as a target. Don't mess around with the next board council. I'd have I'd start strong this month, April. I wouldn't start small. I mean, you'll see what announcement we're making, because we're not planning on starting small. And the book of the month is going to be Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. If you haven't read it, go read it. If you have read it, read it again. Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins, nearly 9,000 reviews on Amazon. It's the book of the month. We're going to put it on the app. Make sure all of your guys go get it. Don't put this thing like reading books is not a priority. It's a positive distraction. Put a link of the book in your GroupMe and tell everybody to take a screenshot of them having ordered the book. That's what Ricky does. He says, post your screenshot that you read this. He does it in a way that holds everyone accountable. Send the link to everybody. Have everybody buy the book, Can't Hurt Me, book of the month. So now, markets I would be recruiting right now, be real estate agents, mortgage, loan officers, title reps. They're not taking a hit. They're getting hammered. They're getting hammered right now. So what's happening to them? They're getting hammered in ways they've never been hammered before. specifically real estate agents, appraisal, all they're getting hammered so bad right now. Contact those guys and say, when are you gonna get involved in an industry that's recession proof? How many of these bad market setbacks do you need to go through to know what's going on? Ain't no expert right now saying cash is trash. All of those cash is trash people are quiet right now, crickets. No one is saying cash is trash right now. They said it a year ago, last 9 years, no one's saying cash is trash. Everybody wishes they had more cash right now. This is a time to call your realtor and recruit them. Number 2, PNC guys. I'm recruiting the hell out of PNC people. I'm getting more and more calls about PNC guys that want to come on board to PHP because they want to write index annuities and they want to write final expense policies, and they can't do because all they're selling is insurance, auto insurance, and many of these guys are canceling theirs, or insurance companies are not paying the commission right now, and all these PNC companies are having to downsize 70% of their employees. It's real. Call PNC guys, auto insurance guys, and then CPAs. I'm recruiting CPAs. Those are my 3 guys that I'm recruiting. Now, let me give you a different script. I gave you 2 scripts right now for clients on how to call the clients. Now I'm gonna give you 2 scripts on how to recruit people. Today, my entire thing with recruiting people is qualifying. Tikran said, Pat, why don't you just put in the video, because this will be the best way so everybody gets it. This is what I'm teaching my base shop. This is the power of 3-way calls. This is the power of Zooms right now, the 3-way Zooms or the 3-way calls, or anything that you're recruiting or selling somebody. I'm gonna give you the recruiting script and I'm gonna give you the selling script. Let me talk about the recruiting script. Here's a recruiting script of how to qualify somebody. What is qualifying somebody? If I ask Mario or a single guy or single girl and I say, what are you looking for in a man? She says, I just want a good man. I say, no, I mean, you got to tell me what you're looking for. Are you okay if it's about 50? No, I'm only 25. So what's the oldest you'll go? I'm not going older than 30. Okay, fine, 30-year-old man. What else? He has to be the same faith as me. What's your faith? I'm a Catholic. Great. What else? He can't have any other kids because I don't have any other kids. I don't want him to have any other kids. Okay, fine. So those are your no matter what's? Yes. So then I go to Tikran and I say, Tikran, I got a friend of mine here that works with us. Her name is Mary. She's looking for a guy. She's a good girl. She's looking for somebody that's, not older than 30, single, no kids, and Catholic. Do you know anybody? Tikran says, yeah, I got a buddy of mine, Joe, who does, whatever he does. I think, okay, great. Let's connect them. We qualified it through Mary first. And then my qualified question went to Tikran. I got the qualified lead back for Mary because we qualified it. That's qualifying is what it means. Okay, when you're teaching this to your guys, explain what qualifying means. So now let's qualify a phone call. I'm talking to somebody about recruiting the business. This is what my script sounds like. Hey, John, Tikran puts me on the call. Hey, John, I told you about Patrick Bet-David. He's the guy that I work with. That's my marketing director. He's great at what he does. He's helped me out with this business, and everybody right now is wanting to work with him. I wanted to get you on the phone for a few minutes with them to get a chance to see if there's anything we can do here. Pat, this is, John I was telling you about. He's a good guy. I feel he can do some stuff here. I don't know how big he thinks, but I thought it made sense for him to talk to you. And John, Patrick, John. Hey, John, how you doing? Good. So, John, tell me, what do you think about all this madness right now? Open-ended question. My first question is always open-ended because I get a sense of their feel and their emotional control. Oh, I don't know, man. I'm a little concerned. Oh, it's going to be all right. I just think it's a hoax. Whatever people are going to say, because they tell you all that stuff. I just think they want to, I think the Trump is not in control. I think the president's not doing a good job. I think the president's doing his best. I don't think. Okay. So anyways, now I got us. Okay, cool. Interesting. Again, unprecedented times, but I got to tell you, we've been busier than ever before. We just had a record-breaking March. You could say that because we had a record-breaking March in policies, record-breaking March in annuities by a mile. And that's a conversation that you can have. And by the way, if you had a record-breaking March in your office, you can say that as well. So I said, look, I'm talking to a lot of people, and typically everybody I'm talking to falls into 3 different categories. The first group are those, write this down, don't just watch this video, write this down and then rewind it and get it so you can teach it. Type it to your guys. And the way I'm going to do it's going to be 3 by 3. You'll see what I mean by 3 by 3. First, listen to it. Number 1, there's 3 different types of people right now in the marketplace. The first kind are those who are just relying on the unemployment check to come in, and this $2.2 trillion bailout money that's coming in. And they're probably going to take the next 39 weeks off and just stay home, watch movies, watch some series. And nothing's going to change about them. And actually, when the market comes back up and everybody goes back to normal, their market value is going to go lower because they're not probably in the same working conditions as they were before. It's going to be tough for them to get back to working 5 days a week for 40, 50 hours a week because they've been at the house the entire time. That's not easy to go back to it. And they're going to take the biggest hit financially because they lack preparation. And when the next time this happens again, they'll still take a hit. That's the first group. Second group are those that have been prepared. And they experienced this in 2008 or in 2008 or 2001 with 9/11, and they hated it. They don't want it to ever happen to them again. These are folks that are sitting on $500,000 on $1 million of cash, and their business is fine. They're not going to be affected by it, and they're good to go. Then there's the third group who are affected by this, but they still have a stream of income, and they don't want this to ever happen to them again. They want to use these times to recreate themselves, get better at a skill, get better at making more money, and they want to eventually have $500,000 in emergency funds so they're not affected by this again. But having said that, John, which one of the three are you? What do you think most people are going to say? I'm the last one. Great. Okay. Sounds good. So what's your strategy right now to figure out a way for this to never happen to you ever again? I don't have one. What's your alternative way to make more money right now? I don't have one. Excellent. That's what I'm an expert in. And then you go into your presentation. But you qualified them. And they told you who they are. Make sense? I'm not going to repeat it. You can go back and listen to it again. Let me give you the client qualifying call. Here's what the client qualifying call sounds like. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, hey, John, how are you? Boom. So, hey, Mary, this is my trainer. He taught me everything. And I just wanted to get a chance, obviously, at times like this, want to get a chance for you guys to talk to each other because everybody wants to talk to Pat right now. He's helping so many families out. Everybody's calling us right now. And Patrick, this is my auntie, this is my uncle, this is my friend, this is my boss, whatever. Okay, hey, John, how you doing? Good, good. So what do you think about all this craziness that's going on right now? Open-ended question. I don't know. Hey, Mary, what do you think about it? John, what do you think about it? Interesting, right? I think it's all going to be fine. I think we've experienced a president assassination, Ronald Reagan almost attempt on assassination, Martin Luther King, we experienced a 9/11, we experienced a 2008. I think we're going to be all right. Obviously we got to be responsible, but I think we're going to be all right. But listen, since we're on the phone here, it seems like there's three different types of people I'm talking to right now, client-wise. The first kind are those that we talk to who have nothing in place. They're taking a massive hit. No savings, they lost their jobs. The only thing they're relying on is unemployment and the bailout. And they're not really doing anything about it to make sure this never happens to their families again. That's group number one. Group number two are those who experienced this in 2008, experienced this in 2001. They lost a ton of money in their 401k. Their 401k in 2008 went from $400,000 to $250,000. And they don't ever want to experience anything like that. So they already have an index annuity and they already have an defensive strategy. So their retirement plan may have gone for $800,000. It didn't go below anything because they already had an indexing strategy in place. That's the second group. And the third one is those who are working, they're doing their part, they're kind of taking a hit, they lost some money in their 401k, they're concerned and they want to figure out a way to prevent any more bleeding and damages by making the right decisions today. John, Mary, which one are you? And then they're going to say, I'm group number 3. Okay, great. So what is your current strategy? What's your alternative right now? What you have? I don't have one. Well, that's what I do. I'm an expert in that area. My team of experts also specialize in this area. And what we like to do is we like to replace how you sleep at night, worrying about how the market's going to respond the next day. We like to make your pillow soft. That's what I do for a living. I'm an expert pillow softener is what I do. So let me get into kind of telling you what I'm doing, and then you get into your presentation. So again, qualifying questions. So the way I put it, if I'm you, I write the 3 things down that I said. I said there's 3 different types of people, and I said number 1, number 2, number 3. Here's how I do it, the way I train. Number 1, number 2, number 3, if you're looking at this, right? And the way I do it is outline. A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. What does this mean? There's 3 different kinds of people right now. Those who are not taking care of their finances, who are just going to rely on unemployment, and I'll put unemployment here, and those who are not prepared, okay, unemployment, and $2.2 trillion debt. They're not really going to improve themselves. They're going to watch TV. Boom. Second kind of group of people who experienced in 2008 and 2001 when the market tanked. So what they have is they have $500,000 to $1 million in savings. They're prepared. Third group of people are those that are being affected, but they haven't savings, but they want to change and improve. Which one are you? I'm printing it out like this, and then I'm training all my MDs how to do this. And the same 3x3 principle, I'm using it with client. This is how you transfer a knowledge to somebody else. So I'm teaching this on Zoom, and I'm doing it nonstop on every single recruiting call and every single client call I'm making right now, because the rest is easy. This is the part that's tough that your people need your help with. So that's number 1. That's what I'm doing, okay? I just gave you the 2 scripts. And last but not least, let me give you the announcements. By the way, if there's ever been a time you want to be on the Dream Team call or Builders call or any of that stuff, it's right now. Yesterday's Dream Team call may have been one of the best Dream Team calls we've ever had. Would you agree with that? I agree. It's got to be one of the best ones we've had in the last 6 months. And we keep saying this because they just keep getting better and better and better because everybody's so on it right now, the people that are on the Dream Team call. So announcements, what announcements do I have for you? Let's go through them. You ready? Get your paper and pen out because now it's about how you're gonna drive it, not just by being a motivational speaker, by being an inspirational results getter. It's not a real word. You inspire, you get results, and you show them by inspiring them how to do the same as well. Not just, you can do this. Nope, not a motivational speaker. Inspirational results getter. Results, announcements, 3 of them. Number 1, I want you to make money. So guess what we're doing this month? Here's what we're doing this month. Level up GB. Whatever you did last month, level up. Go make some money and set it aside. That's level up GB. Don't mess around with this level up GB. And the only way you're gonna hit it is to start early because we got train the trainers mid-month. That's number 1. Number 2, by the way, level up GB means if last month you hit level 1 GB and you got that additional 10%, you went from 75 to, like I'm gonna tell Ghana because some of the newer guys, you went from 75% to 85%, you got level 1. If this month you held level 2, you'll get your 75 plus 15%, which is 90%, but on top of that, I'm leveling up and I'm giving you an additional 10% on top of that. So you won't go from 75 to 90, you go from 75 to 90 plus 10, 100. It's the easiest way for you to make $50,000, $100,000 and just set it aside in the bank so you're not affected by it. For those of you guys who don't slow down from a $70,000 check. So that's level up. Okay, number 1. Number 2 is, those of you guys asked me a question yesterday, and I didn't know about it, but I thought about it, and I'll tell you what we're going to be doing. For those of you guys that are trying to drive everybody to TTT between now and they didn't get qualified yet, starting April 1st, from April 1st to TTT, which is what date?
The 14th and 15th.
14th and 15th. So they have to do it by the midnight of the 13th. Anybody that gets 3 personal recruits, because it's half, we're not doing 5, because it's not full, it's half 13th. Anybody that gets 3 personal recruits from the 1st to the 13th, they will be invited to go to train the trainers. Obviously, no one can get licensed right now because the department, some of them are opening up on certain days. We're just telling you, anybody from the 1st today to the 13th who gets 3 directs, they're gonna be able to go into train the trainers. So for some of your guys that missed it, you gotta call them up. And by the way, for some of you MDs that didn't hit level 1 GB, you have to have it in the system by the 13th. You don't, you're not coming, we're not putting, matter of fact, no, we can't even do that, right? Because Matt doesn't have, no, scratch that. You have to do by the, scratch it. Your level 1 GB is completely out because Matt cannot even get the data in for people to be invited to be a level 1 GB, right?
Correct.
He cannot get the data. So for MDs, if you didn't hit level 1 GB as of yesterday, forget about it. That part we cannot do because Matt just told me this morning we cannot do it. And the last announcement I've given you guys is the following announcement. Annuity, we gave the 1% bonus last month. Guess what we're doing? We're continuing the 1%. I hope you realize the company's losing money this month. We're not getting our profits this month because we're giving that additional level up without the licensing requirement level up because of what's going on. We're giving the 1% annuity that typically puts us in a decent place of profits. That's going to you. This is your chance to have such a big income month by moving quickly so you set aside money in the bank. So having said that, while I'm thinking about the whole level 1 GB we can't do, I will give you a criteria. Any of the MDs, if you get 25 recruits by the 10th of this month and you didn't hit level 1 GB last month, Tico, write this down. I'll have Matt and our analysts put the data together for you, but you only have 10 days to do it. So if you didn't hit level 1 GB, you got till the 10th to hit 25 recruits because I got to double time my analysts because we just hired a chief information officer, chief technology officer that's working on our technology right now. And our analysts are going to have to take a day away to prepare that for you. But you have to get 25 recruits by the 10th, MDs. If you don't hit it, you don't get it. You hit it, I'll be able to put it together for you. So those are some of the things I would be thinking about. Did I miss anything, Tico, here? I don't think I missed anything on the topic. So go back, and if there's ever been a video you got to watch twice, go back after the data, watch it from the midpoint, after the prank of the April Fools, whatever it is. After that, watch it and rewatch it to get the conversation in place. And on the scripts, write that down. Do the 3+3. Don't be lazy, guys. I'm telling you, don't. 70% of you guys are going to be lazy, and you're wondering, I can't pay for this, I can't pay for that. And the guys that are leaseholders right now, they're doing their best to keep everything together and MDs. You also have a responsibility to them to do your part because they have to pay their lease. You got to do your part as well. This is a time that we got to stay together and make this thing work. But you can't say this is such hard times, but you're not doing your part to move quickly. That part is on you because the reality of it is, last month, Apollo still made $100,000 in March. They still made $100,000 in March. Gaetan still made $90,000 this month. Del Toro still made $85,000 this month. Mason at his biggest month made $70,000 this month. That's still taking place. That part hasn't changed. But this month you have a opportunity to make more money because of level 1. Having said level up GB. Having said that, I'm looking forward to seeing which one of you guys take all these incentives and have a killer month. And if you watch the entire video, click on the comment below saying watch the entire video. Let's have a killer April, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.